accumulating 3 to 6 inches tomorrow. Cold, breezy in the afternoon. Rapidly deteriorating road conditions can lead to slow and slippery travel. Should be done by Sunday. Actually, the sun should come out on Sunday, but a high of only 31 on Saturday and a high of 29 on Sunday and a high of 24 on Monday. An inch or two also on Monday. So coming back to just kind of like regular winter weather where it snows and then, oh, look at a bunch of snow. The roads are bad. And then it kind of sets for a little while. Then maybe it snows another inch on top of it and you got to get the plows out again. And then we get a few days of no snow and then cold, mostly cloudy and cold. And then by next weekend, we get it coming back our way. How's that feel? So that's what we have going on. All right, I want to tell you about what's going to be on the air today on the radio. So first of all, we got Purdue basketball, Eastern Illinois at Purdue. Eastern Illinois comes in at 2-4. Purdue comes in at number 1 in the country, and they are 6-0. And I don't know what to do with that other than Eastern Illinois Panthers are in for a whooping today in terms of basketball. Now, let's turn to the afternoon, and we have a Bears game that is not on our station. And the Bears, I thought, was at 2 o'clock, right? Is it 2? Yeah, they're at the Eagles at 2. So you could get in your car, drive around, listen to the Purdue game, do all the BS that you got to do, and then get home about 1:30 and watch a little pregame. There is amazing pregame. Helen Brown turned me onto this. Listen to Dan Hampton and his friends before the game on WGN, and then after the game, and before the Bears game. What time do they come on? Let's see if they tell me exactly. The Hampton and OB show, so Hampton and Obradovich, and the show, which airs before and after each Bears game, also features a segment on rookie quarterback Caleb Williams' performance after another. You can listen on WGN and on their website. I don't know why I'm promoting them, but Hampton is a region guy now. He lives down here. And Obradovich, I don't know what's wrong with him, but he can't say enough bad things about Caleb Williams. And it just gets my ire up. The last 2 Sundays, Alexis and I have cleaned out the gutters. Now, the low-hanging gutters. And we got kind of 2-story house, so we got the low all the way around the bottom are the low-hanging. And then I got some up top that there's not a ton of it, but a little bit. I'm like, I'm not worried about that. But all the way around the house was a long deal, so we would get up and we would, maybe go see the grandkids for a while, and we get home around 10, and then we would put the ladder all the way around, and we'd do it for like 2 hours, and we would listen to the pregame of Dan Hampton and Obradovich. And I got to tell you, that's quality of life. First of all, you got the wife holding the ladder, which at times is in very precarious positions inside a flower bed or on top of slippery concrete, or what's even worse, halfway on the slippery concrete and halfway in the flower bed. Then you really have to have trust. You're thinking, well, I paid up my life insurance. Things seem to be going okay, but you never know. But so I'm up on the ladder, and all of a sudden I say an expletive, you. I go, blank you. And Alexis is holding the ladder. She's like, well, why are you talking to me that? You never talk to me that way. I go, no, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Ed Obradovich, who is just ripping on Caleb Williams on WGN, which we're listening to. And it's been really beautiful the last 2 Sundays. So I'm so glad that we cleaned out all of our gutters and got all the leaves out. And we got to maybe do it. If there's one more warm day, we'll get up there and do a winter winterizing of it. But and then all of a sudden she starts listening for a while, and she's like, "What does this guy have against Caleb Williams?" And I go, "I don't know, man. They were the same way with the last quarterback. What was his name? I forget. And I don't know. Hampton's not like that, but Obradovich just can't stand he's not accurate. He can't move as well as people think he is, and he's not a leader." And I'm like, dude, they're 8-3. How could you possibly say that with a second-year quarterback? I'm like, this is nuts in a first-year head coach. It's beautiful. I'm planning my day around sports today because there's great sports. All right, once again, you got Purdue, Eastern Illinois at Purdue at 11 o'clock. Then you got the Bears at 2. Take a little break, okay, for about, I don't know, a couple hours. And then you get to watch Purdue football take their biggest ass whooping they've had in a long time as Indiana football and Purdue football get together. And Purdue is number 18th in the Big Ten, and IU is either 1 or 2 in the Big Ten, depending on which poll you look at. And that game, I believe, goes off at 7 tonight. Is that 7, 7:30, something like 6:30? All right, so the Hoosiers at Purdue. That is the number 2 Indiana Hoosiers at the number 240 Purdue Boilermakers. And they are 2-9 and number 18 in the Big Ten, which is hard to do. So what is the spread on that game? So you can listen to that again here on Purdue. So Purdue sports pretty much all day. And then in between, go watch the Bears game. I don't have that on. But if you are going to watch the Bears game, you got to listen to Hampton and Obradovich. So right after the Purdue game, Eastern Illinois at Purdue, there's like an hour. You can either listen to the Purdue post game, or you could go over and listen to Hampton and Obradovich. And they're just like a comedy team. Who do they remind? Hampton's a lot like Hampton's actually kind of like Bob Starkey-ish here. And Obradovich is kind of Kuziak-like. You know what I mean? And then you put them together, and it's like really good radio. All right, so what do we got? What is the Purdue's? What is the Purdue versus Indiana football game? Indiana football spread. Okay, I got to say maybe 22. Let's see. Purdue versus Indiana shows Indiana as a 7.5 point favorite. What? That's not true. That can't possibly be true. All right. FanDuel. No, Purdue is a 28.5 point underdog. Okay, I got it. I don't know what that was. Barry Odom, his staff and his players are desperate for hope as its first season comes to a close. All right, 28.5. Other lines have it at 29, 29.5, and but right around 29 points. So let me ask you this. Would you take Purdue football and take 29 points? So when the game starts, Purdue has more than a 4-touchdown lead. So the game starts, Purdue 29. Well, let's go 28.5, all right? The game starts, Purdue 28, Indiana nothing, right? So if you were Purdue and you were playing against the spread, you could do a lot of running plays and run the clock and make it a shorter game and maybe, just maybe, get a turnover or something and lose by 25 and beat the spread. Does anybody care? I don't know. So Purdue is going to start out on WJOB as it has for 60-plus years. And then it is going to have a moment of glory and go 7-0 and be the number 1 team in the country. And then Purdue football is just going to get obliterated by Indiana in West Lafayette at Ross-Ade Stadium. And so you're going to go from the highest of the highs of pride of Purdue Boilermakers to the lowest of the low, getting your clock cleaned by Indiana football at home in Ross-Ade Stadium. The highest of the highs to the lowest of the lows. And in between, what's going to happen with the Bears, huh? Anybody? Let's see. Now, they're playing at the Eagles. What do you think the spread is on that game? Well, certainly the Eagles are going to be ahead, and they're going to be the people that would have be the favorites. But let's make a guess as I do my coffee here. So, as you can tell, I deliberately said, let's just hang out together. And I have sent out a bunch of texts on how I get on YouTube. I have no idea. They're going to show me today. But I do have to remind you as I walk out into the Purdue Center, this is no longer a commercialization center. All remnants of entrepreneurialism are gone. The entrepreneur in residence, Mont Handley, is gone. The Society of Innovators down the hall here with Jason Williams is gone. And Nassim is gone. Skabinski is gone. Emily Edwards is gone. These are all people that have their own entrepreneurial ventures that I learned a lot from, and hopefully they got a few pointers from us. 1 million cups, I don't know where that is or if it even exists anymore. So we are moving. We moved down here to be part of the entrepreneurialism class and spend a ton of money to come in here and build these amazing studios. But we're going to build some amazing studios and maybe create our own entrepreneurialism center because there ain't one here. This has become a cybersecurity center, and we're getting out. I mean, there's no sense really being here. And I applaud Purdue on moving into the fastest growing segment of academia there is, which is cybersecurity. I had Vince Mazza. He is the president and CEO of Guard Street. It is a multi-million-dollar revenue company that provides security for you. You could go there and sign up, or for big companies. And he came in and I interviewed him, and he goes, man, this is crazy. I see the cybersecurity center down there. That's the fastest growing area of endeavor there is. They can't hire enough people for cybersecurity. And I go, yeah, I know, because that's what the center is now. He goes, well, I thought it was for entrepreneurs. I'm like, nah, not anymore. It's something else. So there's no real reason. And by the way, our lease was up, and I'm not really sure they were going to renew it anyway. So we are out at the end of the year here. And we're going back home with the radio. We also have a streaming video company called Heartland Sports Network. Used to be called Jed TV Sports Network, and it's growing leaps and bounds. They are separate from us in every way and will continue to be separate. And I'm not really sure where they're going. But the radio, we get to go back home. So all these problems you have in trying to connect with the other studio, hopefully that'll go away at some point, if that makes any sense. I wanted to get it where I talk and it goes right up the tower and it never touches the internet, partly in a remote way. And then I'm like, well, they've had problems with the internet before and we couldn't connect over there. And I'm like, well, what if somebody just hijacks the whole internet one day, like a big 747 instead? They hijack that happens to companies all the time. As a matter of fact, Vince Mazza was in here talking about how much, hijacking and that ransomware has become like a business. Well, you just call them up and they put you on hold, and then somebody really nice comes in and then negotiates how much you got to pay to get your company back. And then they build up a reputation as ransom people who kidnap your systems, and then you got to pay them ransom, and then, well, we have a long-standing reputation that as soon as you pay, you're back online. So, I'd love to give you references. It's like a business, ransomware is. Well, someone's going to do that to the internet, and I'm not sure we got enough money to pay to get it back. But anyways, I'll be able to still be on radio, even if it isn't on a TuneIn app or anything like that. So, all right, here I am on a Friday morning. It is Black Friday. If you're listening, you're driving around and you're like, man, I just got to get that toy. Now, you're not going to Toys R Us. You may be going to Meijer. You may be going to Target. You may be going to, what else would you be going to? Let's see. Meijer and Target is about where you would think about getting toys. If you go a little bit further down, you may be doing some shopping at Menards. If you wanted to buy toys right now, where would you go? Right? Target. That's where I'd go. Meijer, maybe. If I needed a pint of strawberries and a wind-up Bratz doll, I'd go to Target. All right. If I needed cream cheese and a hoodie, I'd go to Meijer. All right. We could also go to Walmart, right? If you needed let's think this through. If you needed some almond milk and stationery and a pack of cigarettes, you go to Walmart. There you go. Let's think of some others right now, okay? How about this? All right. You needed on your list, you need to get something. Let's think of something hardware-oriented. All right, you needed to get a can of 5W30, or not a can, I'm sorry, I'm dating myself. You needed to get a plastic bottle of 5W30 oil, and you needed to get some double mint gum because your breath stinks. And then, let's see, you also needed to get some vanilla extract because your wife's making chocolate chip cookies. And you're figuring you need to get a pair of socks because your feet stink and all the socks you have are all ripped up and this is. So let's go through this list again. 5W30, double mint gum, vanilla extract, and socks. Where would you go? All right, guys, I'll be right back on the voice and face of the region. Ritski firi piri mopapa lopo korona popopo lopo korajiji pikiri papa pararata heshke firi piri mapapa mopopo lopo. To get a woman like you, what's a man got to do to touch a woman like you? What's a man got to do to get a woman like you? If I have to beg, or if I have to plead, or if I have to fight, or if I have to bleed, if I tell a lie, or if I speak the truth, well, tell me, baby, what's a man got to do to get a woman like you? What's a man got to be to make his woman see? What's a man got to be? Give a woman what she needs. What's a man got to be? Yeah, what's it got to be? To bring a woman to her knees. If I have to beg, or
if I had to bleed, if I got to fail, or if I had to bleed, if I tell a lie, or if I speak the truth. Tell me, baby, what's a man got to do to meet a woman like you? What's he got to do now? Make your legs start to shake when I pop your hood. I give you all my money, I give you all my honey. So what's a man got to do to get a woman like you? If I got to beg, or if I have to plead, or if I have to fight, or if I have to bleed, if I tell a lie, or if I speak the truth. Tell me, baby, what's a man? Oh, what's a man? What's a man got to do? Yeah, what's a man got to do to get a woman like you? To get a woman like you.
I am on YouTube. Good to see you guys. Thanks a lot. Now, how do I turn this on, huh? Hep que la para pa chaca fi para ma he he hu hapari hap cara la marana chipakara para kacha pipa la cara hele pu papiri pipa para na narashka vapara ha hu la para capata pari Hokuro pororo Nike papa para poro lo papa kisma farapa Helara miraski. Hey, how is everybody, huh? I'm Jim Dedelow at 7:17 on Friday, November 28th. I can't believe I'm here, but I got to tell you, I am here. And I love radio just like you do. You know what I mean? And some of you even like watching radio. I don't know what's wrong with you. But let's take a look. I don't have any traffic in the entire Chicago area. Now, isn't anybody going to a store one person call me that's going to a store. I'm on my way, Jed. I never called you before, but I'm on my way to blank to buy blank, blank, and blank. Now, I'm pretty sure there's one person that's out there for a bottle of 5W30, for a pack of spearmint gum, and let's see, a hoodie, and what was the other thing I said? Almond milk, right? You could go to like almost any store. You could actually go to Strachan Van Til and probably get all those things. Could you get 5W30 at Strachan Van Til? I don't think so. Maybe, maybe not. You could buy Scotch tape there. You could get a massive roll of paper towels. Let's see what you can get. Your almond milk there. You can get cream cheese. What else could you get there? You could get gloves, especially over here at Van Til's in Hammond. You walk in and they always have a big bin of like 5 pairs of those little thin gloves for $5. Now, I don't know about you, but there's probably only about 4 or 5 days of winter where I need more than those little kind of cheapy gloves, right? You can even buy a little skull caps or whatever, a couple dollars maybe. And you can even get a pair of sunglasses, 4 for $5. Then you're looking styling with gloves, a hat, and a pair of sunglasses, and you probably spend about $4 total. But and when you went up to the register and you rounded up, that money would go to the Northwest Indiana Food Bank, which is in need of money and of food. So do your part, go to Strachan Van Til and round up, and you will walk out like you feel like you just went and did something really good for people. You know what I mean? Like you were walking around and you picked up an old McDonald's cup in the parking lot of the church, and you just felt good about yourself, A, because you went to church, but also you did your civic duty. Now, I know that Lynette Lopez is here because now I'm not the only person here in a hoodie, right? Would that be the right way of putting it? I had to laugh the other day. All right, I think I did. I didn't do the weather. All right, weather is a high of 32. It's 22 degrees here at the Strachan Van Til Studios. And it is 21 degrees at Ironworkers 395. You think Ron Ware's on his way out there? I'll bet he's not. He retires in June. Would you go to work on Friday after Thanksgiving if you're retiring in 6 months? Probably not. But anyways, 21 degrees for whoever might be going to the hall. And it is actually 24 degrees at local 7-1 of the operators at the BP refinery. They have signed on, and so have the plumbers in Maryville. And at local 210 of the plumbers, it is 22 degrees. So there you go. So going forward, it's going to be nasty. Partly sunny and cold today. Bundle up for holiday shopping tomorrow. High of only 30. Snow becoming heavy at times, accumulating 3 to 6 inches. Rapidly deteriorating road conditions in the afternoon. And then by Sunday, a high of 29, breezy with a flurry in the morning, mostly cloudy and cold. Dangerous travel in the morning with some improvement in the afternoon. By Monday, a high of 24 degrees. Now, I had to laugh. I was sitting out here, and John Wilkening, what do I got to do? You already have it in the syndication. Can you show me live what I need to do? All right, I go to YouTube. Do I got to sign in? All right, you go to YouTube, all right? We're going to do this live, all right?
Right here.
And then you go, wait, it's already logged into us?
Yes.
All right, can you send me the login for that in case it's not logged into us? And then you go create. You go live, all right? Create, go live. Are you guys listening?
And then you press your show.
Create, go live, and you say press your show.
And then up here, let's say start live. It might be grayed out for a few seconds, but.
All right, and then it'll say start live because it'll already be set up, right? All right, so is anybody watching right now?
Yep.
There's like 0 people, right?
You're
Oh, there's
here.
like 20 people watching. All right, good. Well, hey, to the 20 people watching and to the 7 people listening, I'm going to tell you what happened the other day. So, and Lynette, I hope you don't mind me telling this story. Lynette, you're from the Harbor, right? And how old are you? So she just graduated. She's 25 years old, right? And people of, I think Lynette, I don't mean to like diminish your individuality, but you represent your age group pretty well, don't you think? Do you feel like, yeah, I'm just kind of an average 25-year-old, or do you think that you're like not average?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you do a lot of things that just remind me of somebody of your generation, right? So I'm going to sit where Dabberton was sitting, okay? And can I have my my butt pad there? Because are you sitting on it? Nobody sits on my cow guy butt pad. This guy is going to have a podcast here, by the way. So John Wilkening and Tom Dabberton are sitting here. So Dabberton's sitting right here. If you're watching on YouTube, hi. And then Wilkening sitting over there. Wilkening used to run Notre Dame Federal Credit Union. Now he runs Tech Credit Union, and he is really killing it, partly by hitting the same. There's a reason why he's gotten to be huge here, and that Tech Credit Union has, they buy a lot of advertising and do a lot of sponsorship, and that they have Wilkening knows how to speak to unions and knows they need attention. Hey, I can hear you typing. No, you don't turn it off because I'm going to talk to you. You just may have to stop typing. All right, so here it is. So Wilkening and Dabberton are like old-time whiting guys, right? And so they start talking about this new incentive put out by the government, and I forget who it was. Some dude that runs transportation or something, and he said, maybe we'll have to try to encourage people to dress up when they get on planes. Do you remember this discussion?
It was grocery stores. Oh, yeah, it was planes, too.
It was planes, too, and going to the grocery store, and should you just wear sweats, or shouldn't you dress up to go out into public? And I can't believe that people are standing there in their pajamas right in front of me in the line at Dragon Van Til and all that stuff, right? And then how about you get on a plane and the guy's got shorts on and a sandal and a tank top, or the woman's got sweats on and then, a hoodie on and hasn't combed her hair, right? So they're talking about this and like how it used to be, how you dress up to go on a plane and all that. And they think like everyone's going to agree with them, right? And then they go to Lynette and they go, well, Lynette, don't you agree that, people should dress up to go out and present themselves well on a plane, or if they're going to go buy a can of green beans? And Lynette goes, in the nicest way possible, I'm like, dude, you are talking to the wrong person. First of all, when people come here, they're like, what's the dress code? And I'm like, huh? What'd you say? Do you ever see me dress when I'm not on the air? But you handled it very well in that. You didn't want to tell them that they just don't get your generation, that's not part of it, right? You don't have to dress up to go on a plane. That's for you guys out of the 1960s, okay? Go ahead. We go around how we want to go around, right? Isn't that basically it? If I want to wear a hoodie and my pajama pants, that's just what I'm going to do.
If I see someone wearing something that I'm not a fan of, just, that's weird, but move on. Who cares?
Exactly. And these two jamokes from Whiting were like, what was it Dabberton and Wilkening, or was it Pullen and Rob Starkey? No, it was
it was Dabberton.
Dabberton and Wilkening, and I was just sitting over there laughing. And here's part of the thing. These guys aren't necessarily in this category, but there's a lot of people my age, men and women, that look at your generation and they don't like it. Does that make sense? They don't like what you stand for. They don't like your work ethic. They don't like that you don't dress the way that you should dress. They say you're on your phones too much. And I had a guy tell me the other day, I just don't like the entire generation. There's nothing about any of the kids I like or nothing. You ever feel that from people?
Yeah.
Feel it here?
No, not here.
You do feel it. How does that make you feel?
It's whatever. I can't do anything about it. I don't worry about them. I don't worry about a lot of people. I don't care about a lot of things.
Explain.
There's nothing you can really do to change someone's opinion, especially if they're older. I mean, I guess you can, but most of the time you can't. So, I mean, who are they to me?
I love that. Here's the one thing that I've learned doing this. Like, I'm on the campus, right? And look around you. Who's going to come in later? Maybe Semino, maybe Adriana, maybe Kaufman. So what we've done here is basically I run the radio and the audio, and Adriana's kind of second in command, and she's early 20s and mid 20s. So it's all these people that are pretty young, and I can't tell you how excited I am for you guys and what you have to look forward to. And I get all these people, especially, in a lot of different jobs, people that own business. They don't know how to, they don't have a good work ethic. And I'm like, I don't know if it's like just the people, very rare people that have come to me to work where you're sitting, or if I've just gotten lucky, or just because we're on the campus and I can pick the best people. And you'll see people that'll come here and I'm like, okay, thanks. And, and then they're not here. But I got like 4 young people that have amazing work ethics. And I don't know if I've really encountered many that come here to work that have had bad work ethics. I don't know. Even look around. Sam's like 30 and Pete's 30 and Ben's a little older. I mean, those guys are working all the time, right? Josh Beaudry comes in, picks up the equipment. Nick Hedrick. I mean, all these guys are 2 or 1, at least 1.5 generations younger than I am, or 2, or gosh, pretty soon it might be 2.5. And I don't know. I don't have to tell you guys to do your job. We don't even have hours here, right? I don't have to worry that people are padding hours or aren't getting their jobs done. And I don't know. I don't see where there's so many people that are critical of your generation. Where do you think that comes from? Do they not understand how you work?
I think it's mostly because of how the system is set up now, because of how they set it up. I'm going to be honest. And they don't realize that. They don't realize that things are different now. I mean, yeah, we're going through the same stuff that they've gone through, like inflation. They could barely afford it. They have to get more than one job, but things are a little different now, and they refuse to understand that. We can't afford houses. We can barely afford apartments. Most of us still live with our parents. We have to get more than one job, which is what they had to do too. But I mean, they have their own mindset that's kind of outdated now, and they just don't want to let it go.
Yeah, I'm your boss, so you can answer, but I want you to answer it as if I wasn't your boss. Do I have that attitude?
No, I wouldn't say that.
A little bit at times.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think they're the kind of mix of the tradition and the history with acceptance that people are going to come up and have their own ways. And I think that there's a lot of people my age that don't want to understand what you're doing. They just don't care. And I think it goes 2 ways. You just kind of showed, hey, I don't really care what they think or whatever. But it all started with John Wilkening and Tom Daverton. And I'm sitting out there working and doing, some paperwork and all that, and I'm listening, and they're talking about this. And I'm thinking, if they go and try to bring Lynette into the conversation, I want to see how this goes. And then finally Daverton goes, well, don't you agree, Lynette?
I don't look at people in public.
And I'm like, you were like, well, I don't, I'm not really the person to ask. And I think people should feel free to do what they want. And you were so diplomatic about it when the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, I go, Lynette's just like, no, what are you doing? We can do whatever we want, whenever we want.
Because you let it bother you that much to the point you call into a show and complain about it. I mean, and no shade to that person. I mean, no disrespect.
So, anyways, I was laughing so hard I had to go in the other room because I didn't want to be laughing at. And I don't think Dabberton and Wilkening are like, well, I guess she just must be odd. She must just be one of a kind. No. What you know what the first question that Semino asked when he walked in and got the job? What's the dress code around here? And then nobody takes advantage of no dress code more than Joe Semino, right? I mean, do you see those like black pajamas he wears here sometimes, those sweats? I think they're supposed to be sweats.
I notice he just wears the same gray hoodie every day.
Yeah, same gray hoodie. And then if it's warm out, he'll come in shorts. Since he's tall and his legs are too long, it looks like his shorts are too high up. It's like, dude, the styles have changed. Like if I wear shorts, I got shorter legs, so my shorts go down to my knees. His barely reach halfway on his thighs. Like, isn't that uncomfortable? And then if it's cooler out, he has these black sweats that I'm pretty sure were his dad's or his grandpa's, and just continues to wear them. And have you ever seen him comb his hair?
No.
Ever see him come in with his hair combed?
I barely see him in person.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You don't cross paths with him. Mm-hmm. Now, Adriana will once in a while be kind of dressed up, but that's usually when she has something else. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But she'll get up and she'll, put her makeup on and do her hair. And I could always tell. And it's always like, job interview, Adriana? Is that what that is? And she's like, no, why do you say that? Well, I got to do a presentation for a class. Or I'm going to work at Cracker Barrel. Evidently, they have a dress code. Mm-hmm. And she has to work on it. So, hey, guys, it's 7:35 in the Calumet region. I'm Jim Dedelow. We don't have anybody calling, do we?
We have one.
All right, 219-845-1100. We'll take your calls. And then I'll talk about something else, I guess. Hey, you're on the air. How are you?
Oh, hi. Men that wear short shorts have always made me a bit nervous. But, hey, can we go...
Now you're going to have to explain that.
Well, I don't know. I guess I can't get there. Maybe in a second. But can we go back a few years, Jed? You remember, for the things in the region that people used to look forward to on Black Friday, let's just go for 1983. Give me a second. Because if anyone wants to come along for the ride, I'll be loading my van at the crossroads of America at US 30 and 41 at Sousers Waffle Shop. Remember Sousers? And then from there, we're going to head east to Valpo to beat the snow to go to Fetless. Remember Fetless, the greatest store where you could grab 12-gauge shells, some fishing tackle, half off, and a couple of nudie magazines for good measure. From there, we're going to go to the Century Mall and play some video games in the Pin Pan Alley, the arcade that was like an old alley with the smoking steel barrels, and no matter what anyone's race or ethnicity was, we all got along and bummed each other quarters. And then after that, we're going to head over to the food court, grab some popcorn, and then we're going to go to the Mays department store in Maryville and help Santa arrive via helicopter. I mean, that's what used to entertain the region. And then finally, for the wind down, and this one goes really deep into Hammond, we're going to go back to the old Goldblatt's building in Hammond for the famous Black Friday sale at Gunta's Flea Market. Best deals on 3-foot bongs and garbage pail kids cards. So I'll see you all at Sousers Waffle Shop in Saraville at 9 a.m. Limited seating availability. And folks, I promise I will make sure we tie Mad Mac to the roof of my van for the entire ride. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Now, Lynette, I got to bring you in again because, you're the only person here, and by default, you and I are going to talk, okay? So, those are kind of funny things out of the past, and I recognize every one of them, from Sousers to the Santa landing in a helicopter to Goldblatt's building. Century Mall. Do you know where that is? Well, it doesn't matter. It's in Maryville. So the question is if tradition and history matter to you at all?
I mean, we not a very traditional person. I don't do much of those. So I guess not.
So when you were studying at Purdue, what was your area of study?
Communication, broadcasting.
So you didn't take many history classes, did you?
No.
Do you like history at all? All right, I'll give you one. And tell me if this interests you at all. So I think it's 1915. So it's more than 100 years ago, right? And the trains come through downtown Hammond, right? And somehow a train was carrying the circus, a massive circus. And circuses used to be really big because you'd go to these little counties in Indiana and they'd have a circus and everybody would come off their farms and they'd go to the circus. Or you'd go to Indianapolis and they'd set up the circus somewhere and everyone would come not only out of the farms but also out of the factories or whatever. So they're a big deal, but somehow the train gets to downtown Hammond and it's clipping along pretty good and it gets off the tracks and it is the biggest train wreck, certainly of a circus, or one of the biggest train wrecks in the history of America at that time. So many people died. There were elephants running around, and it was a major point in history. And not only that, since it was nobody was prepared for a wreck, it took them a long time, and just people just laying there dying. And there were a lot. Google the Great Circus Train Wreck of Hammond, Indiana. Okay, Google it now, will you please? So they do this circus train wreck, right? And it is, I want to say what year it was, but I never even knew about it until about a year ago, right? The circus train wreck of Indiana. You got anything on it? Hammond, Indiana. It was in 1918.
June 22nd, 1918.
The Great Circus Train Wreck of 1918. Okay, here it is. Was a disaster in Hammond, Indiana, when an empty military troop train collided with the rear of a Hagenbeck Wallace circus train. The crash killed an estimated, listen to this, you got it too, right? 86 people and injured seriously over 100 as the troop's train engineer had fallen asleep at the throttle. That means the guy driving the train hit the back of the circus train because he fell asleep. Now, the circus cars were made out of wood, not like they are of metal, and they were lit by kerosene lamps. It became an inferno. So it wasn't the impact, but the fire, trapping and burning many of the sleeping performers and workers. Now, that's just a few blocks from here, right? There's a video. All right. Can you put that video up over there and get it to play?
No, this laptop is finally done for.
All right. Good enough. We need to get a new one. All right. So it happened at approximately 4 a.m., right? And what else can you tell me about it? The force of the collision splintered the wooden cars, and the kerosene lamps inside ignited, causing an immediate and intense fire. Many victims were performers, including a lion tamer and a clown and his entire family. The victims' bodies were burned beyond recognition. So where did they bury all these people? Does it say? Oh, here it is. A mass grave was created at Woodlawn Cemetery's Showman's Rest. So I don't know, must be like a old cemetery for entertainers in Illinois for the unidentified victims. Some of the graves are marked with names like Smiley and 4-horse driver. The troop's train engineer, Alonzo Sargent, was criminally charged, and no one was convicted because the jury was deadlocked. Wow. So does that interest you at all?
I think it's a little interesting and unfortunate, but it didn't really catch my attention too much.
All right.
I'm sorry.
All right, let me think of something else out of history. Like, what are you into? Let me see if I can find something in history that interests you. You into music?
I am.
All right. What kind of music?
Any music.
Like rap music or blues music or pop music? Or
Pop music. Let's go with pop music.
Pop music, okay. So,
I don't think you're going to find anything that interests me in that either.
why not?
You know what? My dad, he's super into history. He's a history buff. Mainly Mexican history. He tells me a lot about the Mexican history and traditions and what was it? There was this one battle. He tells me a lot about the Independence Days, the battles we won. So I have no choice but to listen to that. He's my dad talking to me.
So, when I'm talking to you about history, you like automatically have a rejection of having to listen to your dad about history. And he tries to tell you about 1810 when Father Miguel Hidalgo y Castilla, he rang the church bell in Dolores and issued the Grito de Dolores, this cry of Dolores to call arms against Spanish rule. He tries to tell you about that and how courageous that was, and you really don't give two squats on that.
Not completely.
It was an 11-year struggle. It was one of the greatest heroic moments. And finally got independence, and it took them 1821, right? You knew this, though, because your dad told you about it.
He did,
right?
actually.
Right? El Grito de Dolores. You've heard that before. The scream or cry of Dolores, right? And it was an 11-year war. Can you imagine living under war circumstances for 11 years? I mean, you got no food, right? Because everybody's fighting and killing each other. And then your brothers or your older brothers probably go off to war, and then nobody's there. So you got to somehow bring in money to keep the little baby fed with some sort of food, right? And the only thing around is corn, and you got to learn how to grind it up and make it into like a zillion different things, like my mother-in-law. But anyways, so that mildly interests you, right?
Sure.
All right, so here's another one. So this already I know mildly interests you because you're here, okay? So you go into communications and you're into streaming and you're really good at technology, just like everybody else. Semino and Adriana and Kaufman, all four of you are really good. You don't really know them, but you will once we move over to the other studio.
I know everyone but Joe. I know Joe now, but
So when we go over there, these sports guys aren't going to be around us all the time. It's just going to be me and us four, and then all the people that come in and do shows like Taberton and Wilkening and all that kind of thing. So you're part of a tradition right now that is 102 years old, right? You're producing just like I did exactly in that spot in 1984 and 85, right? And then I was doing it just like somebody had done 40 years prior to me and during the World War II. And they're doing it just like somebody that was in the late 1920s when the stock market crashed, okay? It's a complete continuum. It has never stopped, all right? 102 years of just continuous broadcasting. Now, it's kind of changed a little bit from the people that were, but it is the same exact structure. And you've plugged into that 102-year tradition. Does your dad ever bring that up?
no, but he's interested in it. He likes asking me stuff about it.
Like what?
Like what I do, what I can do in the future. He always asks me if I could be a movie director. That's the only thing he really knows.
So is that what you want to do?
Sure, I guess. I can do that. I like doing I want to do pretty much everything under production. Whether it's directing or lighting, sound, being on the radio or TV station. I like all of it.
You don't like being on the mic as much as you do as behind the scenes. Am I reading that correctly?
I didn't know talking on the radio would be part of this job when I first applied.
So you would not have taken it otherwise.
I probably would have anyway.
Maybe not, though.
Maybe not.
All right, yeah, you got to be on the air and you got to give the weather and you have to like reveal things about yourself. And then you have to talk to like 65-year-old guys who don't get you at all. If I put it that way, would you have taken the job? Here's the thing. One of the things I look for, and you don't realize this, is something that used to be called grace under fire. Because where you're sitting right now, you are operating lights, you are operating sound levels, you are operating YouTube channel, you are operating the connection to get on the tower right down the street, which we can see. Only a few people can really get all the technology. Now, it's not so bad when you're just sitting there and people are talking and it looks like you're doing nothing, right? But the level of technological knowledge to fix something is hard, and that's why I keep getting people hired away from me, and probably you too at some point. And that is the troubleshooting of all of those different systems is it takes a long time to learn, but once you learn it, you also have to have another aspect, is that when it does go wrong, you have to be able to remain calm enough to figure it out and not freak out. And some people freak out and they shouldn't be in that job, right? You certainly have that because you have the ability to act like kind of like, it almost looks like you don't care, but I know you care very deeply about the quality. And Jim, maybe you shouldn't do that. You've texted me that a couple times and very gently nudged me. But you care very much about quality. You have the technological knowledge, but most of all, you remain calm. And I'm not going to get too upset or too excited. Now, is that something your dad taught you too, or what?
No, well, I think I get my dad is also pretty calm and reserved, so I probably do get that from him.
All right, well, I wish you would get the love of history from him too, all right? Be open for that. Hey, let's take some phone calls, all right? People want to make fun of you somehow, I think. Hey, you're on the air. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing okay. What are you going to say to Lynette? You don't need to talk to me.
I like her. You know why? Because she doesn't give a damn.
She acts like she doesn't give a damn. I taught her that. Act like you don't care, but you are always trying to make it better.
For herself.
Yeah. All her dad cares about is Mexican history, and she won't even barely listen to him.
Well, she does listen to him, but she's not listening to him.
Exactly.
One day she's going to be like a Mexican history teacher over here at Purdue. You know that? It's just going to click in with her.
We need those kind of teachers.
There is all kind
How
of
was your
teachers.
Thanksgiving? Huh?
I can't hear you. Hold on a second. You know why? Because I sat back on my receiver in my back pocket and it muted.
Oh, my Lord.
I wish I could do that to people in general. Like all I have to do is just like sit back a little bit and it'll mute my ability to hear them. Hey, I got to tell you something. Before you talk about what you want to talk about. So my wife, for her birthday, her two girlfriends that they all hung out with and went to bars with and all that, and their other halves, Darren Bohm is one of them. He went to Morton, and Kay. I don't even know what Kay's maiden name was. And then Jane Aspen, she went to Clark, and her husband's from the western suburbs. They drive down from the western suburbs, and we go see the Bob Seger cover band at Club 312 in Griffith. I did not realize that Bob Seger had so many hits, and I did not realize what a great time that was. You know, you wouldn't think something like that. I was kind of dreading it, put it that way. if that makes any sense. And you want to know what else? I forgot the point of my story.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, I know what it was. One of the women goes to my wife, and it's about Darren who went over here to Morton. She goes, he needs hearing aids and a mute button because he can't hear anything, and all he does is talk. So that's probably like how a lot of wives feel. How do you think? What do you think?
Well, my husband's not a talker. He can't hear. I mean, he's got to the age where he can't hear, and all I hear is, say what? Say what? But that's about the only thing going, that he can't hear. He doesn't talk.
So you just you only need 50% of that equation, the hearing aid. Now, does he have one yet?
No, he says he could hear.
How many guys, and I'm in this. My best buddy from college, he got a hearing aid and he shows me on his phone and he goes, man, I used to be like in business meetings and, I'm looking at people and then it kind of hurt me in negotiations. And then my wife was always mad, but I could read my wife's lips. I've gotten to be a really good lip reader unless somebody has a beard or a goatee like I do, and then you can't see their lips as well. You know what I mean? Or if they turn. Mm-hmm. But I need a hearing aid really bad. It runs in our family. I've probably needed it for like 5 or 10 years. And I won't get one. And your husband's saying the same thing, right?
Oh, yeah, he won't get one. Yep, he won't get a hearing aid. He won't get a cell phone. He's just one of those people that go to the store in his pajamas. No, he's not.
So is he into history?
No. Not really. Neither one of us.
Why are you bringing up history?
Yeah.
Oh, listen to her. She's speaking up, man. You're bringing that out in her.
See, I like her.
Here's why. I've never been really into history. I don't even really like it now. But I do like tradition, right? And I do like, WJOB. I like the tradition. I liked it when I worked here at 22. I was like kind of cool and I was into it. And I've always been into it. And I've kind of got a little bit more time now that they're running at Sports Network. So I've just been reading some of my big, favorite writers. And one of them is William Carlos Williams. And he's like, man, there's one day in a lot of people's lives where they just turn on and they want to know what they were doing 10 years ago or 50 years ago or 200 years ago. And I think that's happening with me. I'm like, gosh, I want to know how it went and what they were thinking and what they were going through. And I don't even know where it came from.
Well, you put too much into it. You think too much.
Hey, do you get the
I'm
feeling
not a reader, though.
She would be tough to be married to and like wake up in the morning and you tell her a story and she goes, oh, that's a bunch of BS. You're full of it.
Yeah. No, I don't say it like that. I think a lot like that. But those days are gone. I don't even say it anymore. It doesn't do any good when you're married for 43 years.
Really? You've been married that long?
Yeah, 43 years, I think. Yeah.
Is the spark still there?
What spark? It's like a Bic lighter, that you keep flicking and it won't light, and you say, one more time, just one more time.
What spark? All right, let me rephrase the question, Your Honor.
No, because we might get worse. Let's just say that. Let's just say.
So,
I remember the days that we used to go Black Friday shopping, and we'd be out in the line at 2:00 in the morning, waiting just to get in a store that didn't open till 4:00 in the morning. But those were the days.
What else would you wait for? Did you ever go? Like, I used to go down here to like Jimmy's Records or whatever and wait in line for Who tickets or whatever. Did you ever do that?
Yeah.
Hegwish Records or
Woodlawn.
Jimmy's Records or some of the record stores, and they'd have tickets.
See, those were the days.
So who would you wait in line for? Who would you wait in line to see?
Oh, gosh. I would wait in line to see Barbra Streisand.
That was a hot ticket.
Yeah. Too much for me, though.
Was she any good?
Oh, I liked her.
Live
liked
though? I mean, she doesn't seem like
Oh,
she
I don't know.
Oh.
I would never be able to afford a ticket to see her.
Yeah, it would be like $9 then, you know?
Oh, yeah. Sure. 900 now.
Yeah, I once bought a Grateful Dead ticket for $10, and that was the most expensive ticket. I remember going to see somebody for $2.50, but
Well, that's not bad.
that wasn't
Bring back
bad
those
at all.
prices.
In any age, $2.50 is not so bad.
No, but back then it was.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, I
So-
mean, yeah, it was. It's just like it is today. And I agree. If I'm in a hurry and early in the morning, I will not dress up to go to the store. I don't do it anymore.
Because you're going to come
I
back
just
real
like-
quick and then change out your clothes again.
Yeah, put my pajamas back on.
So, all right, hold on. There's not a little bitty voice in the back of your head, like, you know, a grandma or your mom or your aunt chastising you for walking out in sweats and no makeup?
Oh, God, no.
Okay.
No. The only one that does is my daughter. And I have one daughter that is like me. You know, it is what it is. That's it. The other one is more of a queen bee. Now, she will ditch us in the store if we, you know, she'll ditch us in the store if she doesn't like what we have on. But she's up there at the cash register just in time.
So hold on, just to get the chronology right. You go into the store and she doesn't want to be seen with you.
Yep.
But then she'll text you, well, let me know when you're going up to the cash register so you can pay for whatever it is I want to buy.
I don't even have to text her. It's like she has a GPS on me to know right when I'm going up to pay.
Wait, I can feel the credit card or the debit card or whatever, the card coming
Going
out. I
down.
can feel it. It's like an energy. I know it's going to rain. I know the credit card's coming out. So,
Yep. And another thing that they used to do to me was, oh, shit, I forgot what I was going to say.
so hold on a second. I couldn't quite hear because I got bad hearing, but
Yeah.
she may have said one of the 7 words that we're not allowed to say.
She
So
did. She did.
I didn't hear it. Neither did you. Let's keep going. What were you going to say?
I don't know. I'm like you. But I'm older. I have a reason.
What's your
And you know
reason?
what else? You know what else I was going to tell you, too? Some of those men that call you, they sound like they're 89 years old. And when they say their age, I just want to flip. I can't believe it. Especially the guy with the itchy palms.
Wow. You needed a husband that is kind of quiet and just kind of goes along with you and thinks that you're really entertaining. That's him, right? He can't
Well,
hear
no,
you
he
all the
doesn't think
time,
I'm enter-
but he
doesn't
goes
think
along
it's
with it.
entertaining. He doesn't think it's entertaining. I'll get the look every now and then, but he knows I'm opinionated. You know, so don't say anything you're not going to want to know how I feel about it. I mean, we'll get-
I think you're describing my marriage exactly. I mean, people think, well, gosh, you know, I talk on the radio. I must talk in like my home. We had Thanksgiving dinner last night with 22 people at my house. I probably said 100 words the whole 4 hours. I just like to listen to people, especially my wife, because she's really funny. And I just sit there and listen, and I don't really talk. And I like
you
that
were
role.
trained. She trained you.
She did train me. Every once in a while, I'll say something, and she'll go, "That's stupid," and then she'll go on to the next thing, and I'll be like, "You know what? She's right. It was kind of stupid."
Yeah. Well,
Hey.
I just want to tell you, it's great hearing you guys. What is your schedule
What?
for the week?
Huh?
What for next week?
What's the dress code? What'd you say?
Schedule.
I don't have. Here's the thing. I'm meeting AJ Preboy here at 8:30, and the kid goes to Carthage College, but he runs our emails, right? And I'm like, all right, you're coming into town, right? He goes, yeah, well, what time should I meet you Friday? And I text him back. I go, man, I don't make appointments. Just text me the night before, that morning. And so when you ask me what the schedule is, I just got to be honest. It's kind of like whenever I feel like it. Is that okay?
I don't care about you.
Oh.
I mean, I just like to know who's on what day.
All right, here's what we're going to do for now.
Okay. Okay.
Chuck Pullen and Lynette are on Monday morning, right?
Okay. Yep.
I'm on with Verley, and then I engineer it, and then later in the morning, Adriana comes in after she finishes her makeup and her hair, okay?
Okay.
And then Wednesday, Lynette and Tom Dabberton come in, and then
Okay.
I do Thursday and Friday with...
Right.
Yeah, Semino on Fridays, and then Thursday I kind of do it myself till Adriana comes in. That's
Okay.
what
I
we're
just
doing
wanted
for
to know
now.
what they're saying comes on.
Michelle Quinn and Verley.
Yeah.
They're coming on, I think, the fourth Tuesday. They do it without me, or the third.
Okay.
Yeah, they want to do it. You see, what you're talking about is I'm trying to get a lot of these people, including Kuziak, including Verley. You know, they've been putting in a lot of time coming in and doing the morning show. And I'm trying to work something out where they either podcast or they do the afternoon show. So you know this. Oh, we had a lot of fun. We covered a lot of ground in the morning, and then you don't hear us again until the next morning live, right?
Right.
We got news now and weather and sports and all that, but we're not live until the next morning. So Adriana is trying to put together an afternoon show or a noontime show, and I'm trying to make it so that those people that have helped me out all those years can still be on, but not have to wake up at 4 in the morning. It's a lot of work.
I'm glad you said Kuziak's name. I like that guy.
Yeah, I do too. He's not done here, believe me. It's just
good.
Taking a break for a little while.
Yeah, shit happens. You can't help it. You say something and, sorry.
All right. On the second time around, you're done. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
We got to take a break, man. I know people are calling, but we got to pay some bills. Just stay. We'll do it quick. We'll be right back on the Voice and Face region. Erimata. What is that sound in the background? Is that my hot water heating up?
Probably.
Sounds like in the shower. That's what the shower sounds like. I'm a long showerer. I don't know about you. I love getting in hot water, and then like if I'm running late, don't get in the shower because it's hypnotic to me. I'm like, look at what modern technology has done, where there could be this thing above you that spits out beautiful, clean, hot water over your naked body. And it just keeps being hot, and it warms you up, and it warms up your soul, and then you're thinking about things. My wife's like, why do you take such long showers? Now, I know what you're thinking. That's not what it is at all. It's just I get in there and I start thinking about things, and then it just kind of continues on, and then I'm like, wow, maybe we should do this. A lot of times it's about the business, and I want to quit thinking about that all the time. But you don't, we take it for granted. Now, I'll tell you this. I have never been a fan of like taking a shower in a public place. Like if you go to the Y over here, and I have a locker, and I go to the locker at 4:45 in the morning, and I click the number, and I pull out my sweats, and I take off my pants, and I pretty much leave, maybe put a sweatshirt on or whatever, and then I go lift weights. And then I come back, and the whole time I've got my underwear on, and I've just like kind of done it really quickly, and all I really see is my like hairy legs, and that's it. And then invariably there is some naked, hairy dude that walks around naked in flip-flops and has a locker right next to me. And I'm like, does anybody else not want to be naked around other people? I mean, it's just, it's just not my gig, And so when I do get into the shower, though, like if you're going to take a shower, I mean, I remember I probably haven't taken showers in public places since my 20s when I worked out at the East Bank Club. And I guess that was kind of the way to do it. But now there's a commercial. Do you ever see that commercial where the guy's like, don't be like your parents, and the guy's eating a bowl of oatmeal in the men's locker room and everybody's walking around naked? Yeah, that's uncomfortable to me. But anyways, let's take a look. Oh, my computer finally died. 294 around the city. Looks pretty good. 80 going. Do you have weather ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. 294 around the city looks good. 80 going east and west looks pretty good. The Bishop Ford, Dan Ryan, Skyway Toll Road. They're all looking pretty good. And I'll tell you what. It is a gorgeous sunrise to the southwest. It's not a west sunrise. As a matter of fact, it's like the shortest days there are right now, isn't it? Right around now. It gets dark at like 2:30 in the afternoon, and but the sun is, if you have a chance, if you're driving, you see it. If you are sitting in your kitchen and you're listening or watching, evidently a bunch of people watch. I'm not sure why. It's just me talking, and in a laborer's sweatshirt, Laborers Local 41 right here, and then but you could look out. And I can look right at the sun because it's through a tinted window and these blinds that we have. I guess they're not blinds. What do you call these things?
Curtains.
They're not curtains. Curtains hang and then they
Okay, then
split.
blinds.
They're not blinds. Blinds have little slats in them. These are called something else. What are they called when it's just a piece of cloth hanging? I don't think it's blinds.
I would just call them blinds.
All right, well, you don't know anything about history.
Well, someone corrected you saying the sun rises in the east, Jed.
It is the East, my fault. All right, so here's one thing you got to learn right away. I am dyslexic, okay? And I get things backwards all the time. Like, if I tell you to come in at 7 o'clock, right? Well, come in at 7 and I'll produce and get it all set up. I'll come in at 5:30. You don't have to come in at 5:30. Come in at 7, like today. As a matter of fact, I said anytime after 7 because whatever you got here was okay. I didn't care. But you just got to be here for Connie Karras and the Veterans View show, okay? Because I am not producing that. So when I say come in at 7, in my own head, and I text you later, hey, confirming you're coming in at 7, because in my head, I can't hold it. I may have told you to not come in at 7. See what I'm saying? So when I look out and I think that the sun rises in the west, which it doesn't, it rises in the east, that's dyslexia. As a matter of fact, I've been married 34 years now, and part of it was a stroke of good fortune. Do you want to hear?
Sure.
Why not, huh? Your dad's not here to bug you about history. I might as well go to ancient history. Have you ever met my wife?
I have not.
All right, she very rarely comes here, and only when she like needs to use a computer or something. But so I go out, and I'm out with a group of friends, and I don't want to go into who exactly I was with because I was out with another gal, I guess, right, and another group, and I'm out. And I run into this woman on the dance floor, and I see her dancing, and I know who she is because she's friends with all my cousins, David and Doug and Doreen and Dana and all that. And I don't know her, but she's a good-looking young Mexican woman, right, dancing. So I dance up to her, and I talk to her for a little while, and she goes, well, I go, yeah, my name's Jimmy Dedelow. And then she goes, oh, okay, I know all the Dedelows. I don't even know that you existed. And I go, yeah, I live in Chicago and blah, blah, blah. I go, yeah, but I don't really want to go back tonight. And she goes, oh, well, gosh, yeah, it's kind of late. You're going to drive back there. She goes, well, I live at blank 121 35th Court and whatever. You could sleep in the living room or whatever if it gets too bad. So I go out and finish my evening with the other group, and then I realize that I don't want to drive back to Chicago. So I have her address in my head, right? I don't write it down. I'm driving around looking for 212 35th Court, right? Because I'm dyslexic, and I'm thinking 121. Luckily, it was a reflexive number, which is 121. It can only be two things. It can only be 121 or 212. Well, there wasn't a 212, so I found 121. She let me in. I slept on the couch. Well, we didn't even really talk. We just talked a few times. But if it had been like 8349, there's 4 numbers in there. I could still be driving around looking for it, but only because her address was reflexive. Does anybody care? Me neither. I just got some time to blow before AJ Preboy gets here. What's the weather look like?
Good morning, everyone. Today we're at 25 degrees with highs of 33 and lows of 25. Should be partly to mostly sunny and cold, and then later tonight is going to be cloudy with periods of snow towards dawn, accumulating a coating up to an inch, and expect worsening travel conditions Saturday morning. As for tomorrow and Saturday, we'll be having highs of 32 and lows of 26. We're going to have snow. It's going to become heavy at times, accumulating 4 to 8 inches. It's going to be cold and breezy in the afternoon. And then on Sunday, we'll be having highs of 30 and lows of 11. Should be breezy in the morning with a flurry early, and then mostly cloudy and cold and dangerous travel in the morning with some improvement in the afternoon.
Do we have any phone calls? 219-845-1100. Hey, you're on the air. What are you doing today?
Listening to you blather.
That's a very good word for it. Hold on. Lynette, do you know what blather means?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yes, you are listening to me blather. What's going on?
Well, you better get your hearing taken care of because it makes you there's a disposition for people with hearing problems to develop dementia, Alzheimer's. How about that?
Do you have a hearing aid?
No.
Do you need one?
No.
Do you have a green cardigan sweater? Forest green?
Of course.
Yeah, okay. Well, like the previous caller's husband and myself and many of my friends, and in my family, it is very common that you lose your hearing in your 50s, right? And
Well, let's say that it can be reduced.
yeah, it's just, I don't know what it is, but it's on the German side, and that's what happens. They're all like that. But my buddy got this hearing aid that kind of really is tiny, and it connects to his phone, and he shows it to me, and he goes, I know you, and we have the same problem. And he got it like 5 years ago. He goes, it changed my life. You know, I can go on my phone, and if I'm in a quiet room and people are talking quietly, I got to turn it up. If I'm in a crowded room and everyone's yelling, I turn it way down so I don't get all this sound at me. And then he's got these other things that he can actually turn it to where he's only hearing like one voice at a time and stuff. I might get that kind just because I like gadgets. But I'm like all the other dudes who start losing their hearing. We don't want to have this thing hanging on our ears. You know what I mean?
Pride.
Hey, Walt, here's one thing I want to ask you. I'm sitting here trying to tell Lynette I've never really been into history, but it's all of a sudden I start looking at what's going on in the world now, and I go back and I think we're very, very much like 100 years ago, and I'm starting to read people from 100 years ago, and I'm starting to get into what has happened before us. You've always been that history buff. What can you tell Lynette about history?
The human condition never changes. And it is, when they say history repeats itself, of course, because human nature doesn't change. It's constant. And all of it's the good points and the bad points. And so right now, in my opinion, we're reliving the 1930s with the rise of Hitler and Stalin and Mussolini and so forth. I think we're faced with a lot of similar problems.
Go further. Go further.
Well, we need to have smart people at the top, and we need a stronger military. I mean, they should be building up our military now. We only have 1.2 million people in the military, and they probably need more like 2 to 3 million. Used to be, you go back to the 60s, it was about 3 million. And the bad boys, they take advantage of every weakness.
Well, I mean, there is the competing theory that if you have a large military, you are more prone to use it.
I mean, I don't care what size it is.
Are we talking about military here? Is he gone?
He probably is now.
What happened? Did you hang up on him?
I didn't touch anything.
What'd you hang up on him for?
I didn't like what he was talking about.
That's right. You don't like history. Hey, Lynette has a sense of humor.
We have 2 more callers.
One of them's not Walt. Walt hates when he gets hung up on. Why'd you do that? All right, let's take another call. 219-845-1100. Hey, you're on the air. You're not Walt, are you?
Yes, this is Walt.
Hey, Walt, how are you?
Why did you hang up on me?
Do you have a green cardigan sweater that you're going to put on later?
To match my green gotchis.
There you go. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, can I pile on this younger generation for a little while?
Hold on. I don't care. Lynette?
I don't care.
All right, good enough.
Lynette,
Yes.
what is the opposite of hot?
Cold.
There you have it. Jimmy, what is it with the inability of this younger generation to enunciate the letter L? It all started with Mr. Pierogi, Tony Panic. could never enunciate properly the letter L, and it's rampant amongst this younger generation. What's up with that?
You are correct. Tony Panic, Joe Cimino, Matt Kaufman. I think Adriana is a little further along on some of that, but they all say it's code out.
Is it laziness?
I don't know. Hold on.
Cold? I said cold.
You did.
Exactly. That's my point. Exactly.
So, yeah, but I mean, I hear the young people here, and sometimes there'll be 7 or 8 of them here if we have a meeting or something, and they're all talking, and I love listening because it's almost like a little bit of a different dialect, and once in a while they'll use words that I don't know because I'm not cool. But code is started with Tony Panic, and it has been handed through. Now it's a new tradition here. You're actually being phased out by calling it cold. You know what I mean?
No cap.
Hold on. Let me ask you this question. All right.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the work ethic of 20-somethings?
Let me preface this by saying I am going to be 61 years old this February. I say that I'm appalled by the work ethic of the younger generation would probably be an understatement. But I don't know what we can attribute it to. You know, it's definitely a different generation. You know, the government shutdowns, just the prevailing attitude that we can get things done without doing anything. It just seems to be rampant. You know, Jimmy, you're older than I am. You know, I got to guess at some point you busted your ass to do something, right?
It's probably been a while, but yeah.
Been a long while.
So, what makes you think that younger people aren't working hard?
The same thing that makes you think young people aren't working hard. The whole reason why you grilled your poor producer for an hour this morning, you know, it's out there, but it's just become acceptable in our society. You know, will it change? I don't know. Maybe the horse has left the barn and it's too late. Maybe we are a dying breed. I can't
I'll
put
give
my
you
finger
that,
on
but
it.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I didn't communicate it well. I think, contrary to your opinion, I have been extremely fortunate in getting young people that actually want to work harder than I do. And they want to work hard, and they're into broadcasting, they're into streaming, they're into radio, TV, all that stuff. And I have not had the experience that you have had with the younger generation.
Yeah. Well, I'm in a different field as well. You know, I'm in a field where we actually, you know, the primary necessities to do what I do is a strong back and a weak mind. You know, the world needs ditch diggers too, and I'm one of them. And so that's who I deal with every day. And, you know, I try not to kowtow to these kids. You know, they have to do exactly what I did. If you're working on my crew, I expect out of you what my crew leaders expected out of me when I came through the ranks. And, you know, a lot of them capitulate and they get along with it. Some of them move on to different departments within my company because they don't want to do what I do. You know, you weed them out.
All right. So do you think that's any different than when you were coming up through the ranks 35 years ago? Yeah.
It was much different back then than it is now. Another issue that we've got now is the inability to communicate. You know, in this electronic, technological world we live in now, nobody talks to one another. And when it comes down to having to communicate, kids have a hard time assimilating to that. You know, they're used to sitting next to their buddy and texting them. You know, I think that has a lot to do with it as well. You know, communication is key to an individual's development, and you just don't have it anymore, and it's just going to get worse. I mean,
agree
when
with
a
that
parent,
one. I agree with
when a
that
parent-
one, but
when
I
a parent
don't
puts
agree
an
with the first part. All right, hang up, and I'm going to tell a story. All right, so I come out of Laborers Local 41, and I'm wearing it right now here, 40 years. I mean, I got my first permit when I was 16, and I work, but I remember sitting on the bench over here on Kennedy Avenue, and old man Hamilton, Don Hamilton, who is Kevin Roach's father-in-law, used to just berate the younger generation, and I represented it. And then once I'd get in an argument with my family's construction workers, and then I'd have to go sit on the bench and work for other companies. And then he would use me as an example of someone who was, ain't worth a piece of blah, blah, blah. And because I didn't get along with my family sometimes, and I don't find that a problem at all if you know my family. But I did work hard, I thought, pretty hard when somebody brought me out. And he would be, you ain't worth it, or you can't get along with your own family. What kind of guy? And then he would send me out on these most difficult jobs because he knew that once I got on a job that I was going to work hard. And that even though he didn't like one part of, my communication, and then I came in hungover and my hair was long-haired, call me a girl. And I get all of that, but there is a part of it. But I don't think that the actual work ethic is any less now than it was then. Does that make sense, Lynette? Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people look at, they ain't worth nothing. Well, it's different. The communication is different. You don't necessarily want to talk to people. You'd rather text with. Who's knocking? We got to go let somebody in, so I'll have to talk. Hold on, I'll actually go over and answer a phone call by myself. But I just disagree. I think it's different. I think that kids work hard. They're like wired as Americans to just come in and, take care of everything. And that's what we do. All right, let me take a phone call here. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, I got gas for $2.59 a gallon this morning.
You did not.
Yeah, I did. I'm telling you what I mean. Want me
Where?
to take a picture? 41 St. John Speedway by Lake Central.
$2.59.
Yeah, man, I filled this bad boy up for it was $29.
God,
that ain't too bad.
I'm gonna drive from here to Lake Central and back just to get $2.59, and I'm gonna take 2 gallons doing it, and I'm not gonna care. Just because it felt so good to stick the gas thingy in your gas tank and put it in for $2.59. Yeah, it had to feel good.
Oh yeah, it was good. And then I was like, Menards had something on Black Friday I was going to get, and then I pulled into the parking lot and took a look, and I'm like, not worth it. I'm just going to keep on going.
You go to Menards a lot?
Well, my wife likes to go there and just buy junk all the time.
My wife and me, your wife and me, are similar in that way, in that I find it wildly pleasant to go to Menards kind of like after 8 at night. Like if I need one thing, I like to go and just walk around and compare prices and maybe talk to the people who work there. And it is very peaceful just to go late at night to Menards. Now, other places I'm sure are the same way, but the Menards here in Hammond, I like to go there. Just hang out. But anyway,
you can always find something.
Like if I go there for every once in a while, the wife wants a fire, right? And I could go through all the rigmarole of wood and all that stuff and kindling and all that. Or I could go down and buy a log that'll just burn for 3 hours that you just light once, and it's pressed wood. I'd much rather do that. So I'll drive down, spend a half hour, get one log, and drive home. And it'll just be in the perfect state of mind. So tell your wife that. Anyways, what else is going on?
Well, what was your favorite thing for Thanksgiving yesterday? I'm gonna keep it positive.
All right, I'm going to go first, and then you're going to go, and then Lynette's going to go. All right, so here's the thing. My wife and I hosted Thanksgiving, as we have for the last 25, 30 years, and there were 22 people there. And I realized how fortunate I was to have so many people in one room that I could make fun of. You know what I mean? And they weren't going to get their feelings hurt. Even though, like I said, I only said 100 words, I just listened to this drama. There's like 6 of them that are in college or just out of college, and I love hearing their stories. Hey, you can't put that thing down without, there you go. So anyways, that was my thing. I was looking around, everybody's eating. We got a turkey from Doc's just to kind of back things up. That took a little pressure off of like, oh, I better not eat more than one helping because I got to make sure all of our guests have food. Well, we had plenty with the turkey from Doc's. But anyways, I had a great Thanksgiving. What about you?
I had 16 people by my house, and I got up this morning. My wife was laying in the bed. They had a couple too many bottles of wine, I think. And I went downstairs to the basement and looked at the bar, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to get in my car, and I'm going to go drive around this morning, and I just need to get out of this house because it was complete madness.
So is it a mess? Did they clean it, or is it just, did they leave it?
Oh, just glasses, and, you clean up as you go. You know how it goes. You clean up as you go, but when you wake up, there's still always just a couple things, and it's like, I just don't want to deal with that right now. I need to just go take a drive for an hour and relax.
I like that. I mean, sometimes you just got to say, I got to take a break. Now, are you the kind of person that is at the sink and is picking things up and is washing plates off and is, picking up all the little crud people leave on the table and stuff like that as you go along, or do you leave it?
No, as I go along. I'm a OCD neat freak, and a dirty dish don't cut it with me. No,
I'm not necessarily an OCD neat freak, but I like when we host that I can do all that. Like I'll sit at the kitchen sink and I'll just wash dishes the whole time listening to people.
Yep.
And part of it is I don't have the greatest of social skills. And if you're just looking busy and stuff and listening to people, it doesn't look weird. You know what I mean? But if you're just standing there in a group and everyone else is talking and you're doing nothing, you look kind of dumb. You know what I mean? So I love to stay busy because I love, first of all, I'm like you. I like the house clean. A dirty dish, like with a tiny little bit of stuffing on it and maybe a smudge from the cranberry sauce, that's not going to stay very long on my counter. You know what I mean?
No. And I will say this: the thing that I did enjoy the most, we got a really good Kentucky Legend ham. You ever have that Kentucky Legend ham?
No, we're all turkey. Ham is for Easter.
Well, I did both. I did a ham and a turkey, and that Kentucky Legend ham, man, I'm telling you right now.
More and more people are doing that. Doc sold a lot of hams. And did you used to do all turkey, and now you've gone to turkey and ham?
Yeah, I did. Well, last year I did prime rib and turkey, and this year I don't know, a good tasting ham with some turkey is just good.
Now, is there brown sugar built into it, or
no?
All right, hold on a second. Now, Lynette, what did you like about your Thanksgiving?
It was pretty small. My parents weren't here. It's just me, my cousin, and her parents. So, it was nice.
Mom and Dad weren't around?
No, they're in Texas right now for Thanksgiving.
So they left you on Thanksgiving?
No, I chose to stay behind. I hate going to Texas.
Why?
Not a big fan of it.
Is that where a lot of your family's from?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're like sleeping in a hotel or in somebody's house?
Yeah, in my grandma's house.
In somebody else's house. And then there's people all the time around you.
Yes.
And you can't, you walk out of, do you get your own room?
Yes.
You get your own room, and then every time you walk out, your grandma's there smiling, wanting to talk. And then there's other cousins.
All of my cousins my age are married and have children, lots of children, and they come over every single day with their children.
And there's little kids running around?
Yes.
And you kind of like your space a little bit, right? So actually, you have a lot of space because you have the house right now, right?
Yep.
What do you think, caller?
float your boat.
That is a 20-something-year-old talking. I like my space.
Yeah. Well, you could tell. You
All right.
could tell.
All right, man.
Yep,
Thanks
later.
a lot. Talk to you. See you. All right, 2 more. I got a meeting at 8:30. I'm 10 minutes late for it. Hey, you're on the air. How are you?
Jed Jennings, what's going on?
Big time.
Oh, come on, man. What's up?
Are you on your way down?
No, not till later on this afternoon.
When does hold on a second. Turn off your mic in there when Connie's talking to you. There you go. Hey, tell us what game you're doing.
I got the 5A game tonight, Maryville and New Pal.
So Maryville and New Pal. How good is New Pal? New Palestine, for some of you not in the know. So Brian Jennings has been with us since, 1993, I think. And he is going down to do the radio game, which will not air here because we'll have to do the Purdue IU game, correct?
Yep.
Oh, man. So how do we listen to you do the Maryville New Pal game?
It's on a bunch of stations around the state. I would just say go to the IHSA website, and then it'll tell you some of the stations that are carrying it. I think there's like 50 or so in the state. And I think the flagship is like 107.5 The Fan. So if they can check, just Google IHSA Radio State Finals, and I'm sure it'll pop up.
All right. So does Maryville have a chance?
Oh, yeah, I think so. It's two different types of teams. I mean, New Pal is, about strength and power and, that sort of thing. And Maryville does it with athletic ability and quickness and being, a lot of deception type football. So, yeah, I think they've got a shot. I just think you can't get into a game with New Pal where you have to trail because they'll just come out and try to run the ball down your throat.
So it could be a shorter game if New Pal gets in control, correct?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, they've got a quarterback that's going to Towson. They've got a running back who's over like 1,000 yards. They got a big tight end, and Maryville is quickness. I mean, they've got J.Q. Johnson who's quicker than heck, and they got a great quarterback in Michael Hill, and so I think it's two different styles. But I think like I said, Maryville can't play from behind against New Pal.
Was that JQ that did that run that Peter Krakowski said was the run of the year? Did you see that?
Yeah, I think
you
it was
were
Cam
there,
Jordan,
right?
actually. Yeah, I was there. I did the game. Yeah, he broke away. I thought he was going down. In fact, I had said he's going to go down, and he breaks away from it and just keeps on going. So Maryville was impressive last week. I think I think that they can give them some problems defensively with their quickness and their ability to gang tackle. It's a different kind of cat today with New Pal. But we'll see. I mean, I'm excited to see it. There's no question.
So last week, Maryville impressed me with exactly what you said, what they're going to need, which they were able to do. Who was it they played? Was that Concord?
Concord.
Yeah, they played Concord. And I was impressed at their linebackers, man. And that's what they're going to need. You're not going to be able to stop them all the time with just the linemen. That those linebackers got to come in and they're going to have to fill those gaps because they've got strong, fast runners. And that may be where this game is decided at times.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. I think, ultimately, I'm going to assume Concord is going to try to come out and stay between the tackles. They've got, two D1 tackles. Or New Pal, rather. They got two D1 tackles. They got one going to Purdue and one going to Air Force. So, they're going to try to just come out and pound the ball. And if the linebackers, you talk about Keith Edmonds and those guys, I think if they can just, keep them from getting past the second level, I think they'll be in good shape. Because I don't see New Pal getting to the outside against Maryville's quickness.
God, now to watch that, is it $15 again?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, go to ihsatv.org and you'll be able to watch New Pal Maryville. What time's that go off at?
6 o'clock region time, 7 o'clock Eastern time.
So I apologize. We're not going to be able to hear Brian Jennings tonight do the Maryville game because we have Purdue and IU, which were contractual on that one. And quite frankly, if I had to do it outside, certainly we would put the Maryville game on instead. Let's look forward to Andrean. What time is that tomorrow?
That is, let me look here. I think that is, hold on here.
I want to
say
it's at 11.
Oh, wait, no, it's the first game. Yeah, it's the first game. It's 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. So that'll be another good one. I mean, Brownstown Central, I mean, they're solid. They've been solid all year, and they're 14-0 and taking on, obviously a very good Andrean club. So they run a 6-1 defense, Brownstown Central does. They just load everybody up, and they say, okay, go ahead and try to throw the ball on us. So it'll be interesting. I mean, what's Maryville, 12-1 coming in? They give up about 12 points a game, so you got two pretty good defenses. So I'm excited to see that one.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing, and they may give you the single coverage on the outside, and there's a couple of receivers there and Drain are kind of gobbling that up. So let's see if they're able to throw the ball. All right, Jennings, anything else on your mind?
No, just have Thanksgiving to everybody, and we'll see what happens tonight and tomorrow.
All right, man. I'll be listening to you online and watching Purdue get their butts beat at the same time. So, hey, man, bring some hardware back. I do need to mention one thing. Maryville has been to the semi-state 10 times, and they were 0-10, and they got through last week. What was that like on the field, by the way, when they finally got through?
Well, what was cool is obviously the kids are going to be excited and the coaches are going to be excited, but just to see the Maryville student body, the community, and there was a lot of guys there who had played in Maryville way back in the heyday, and just to see all those people on the field last week. It reminded me a lot of when Whiting won it in 15 and when they went to the state finals, when they won the semi-state at Jeff Kane Stadium now, and how everybody was on the field from the community, and the community was involved and really was into it. And it was the same kind of thing last week. It was really cool. I was impressed with the way Maryville had a great turnout of a lot of the alumni came back. You could just see guys wearing their alumni or their Letterman jackets and, talking about the old days. So it was really cool. It was a great experience.
All right. Bring back some hardware. Brian Jennings, thanks a lot.
All right, man. See you.
Talk to you. Is there anybody else waiting? All right. Let's keep going. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Jed. Thanks for taking my call. I wanted to touch on two things. Hearing, and then you were talking about shopping at all these different places. I just wanted to echo Walt. Do yourself a favor. At least go to an audiologist and get a screening, and they'll show you where you're at. And I got forced into it by my wife over the years, going back, slinging a sledgehammer for internet construction, Labor's Local 41. When I was going to college at Purdue Cal, we put in all those ADA ramps and busted out a lot of curbs. But from that to working like with your Uncle John Potko when I was an apprentice with the fitters, and then doing some shooting back in the day, and in the 80s, we didn't put the hearing aids, hearing protection on, doing range qualifications for different enforcement. But anyway, do yourself a favor and get yourself at least assessed by an audiologist.
Okay, Helen Brown. Yes, it's time. I get it. We'll leave it at that. What was your other thing?
Yeah. Shopping. I was looking, and if I saw them, this goes back a while, I was going to get you several kazoos for your grandkids at Menards, and I have not seen them there. So they're toys when they come in early, like for the holidays, you got to grab them right away. I was going to grab some, get a bag of them, and drop them off at the studio for you when you run in the morning, but haven't seen them yet. But shopping, I don't know, have you taken your grandkids shopping to Menards?
No, we take them to Target.
Oh, okay. Well, we take them to both, but both of they actually ask, and they're 2 years behind 3 and 5. They ask to go there, and like Halloween, they want to see the Halloween decorations. Now they want to see the Enchanted Forest. So it's a nice outing to take them.
You know what? That's a good idea. The little guy, he likes just looking at new things, and I mean, I love going to Menards and just going around looking at different tools, and I mean, remember, I don't know, like my grandpa used to love to go to Sears and he'd take me with him, and we would go into the tools section at Sears, and there'd be new tools, and he would rarely buy any, but he'd get ideas. You know, once in a while he'd buy like a pair of wire strippers or something. You know, but it's kind of cool. They have the coolest tools there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it all starts with you know, they want to see the decorations, and then they know now that they do have the toy section. So you know, we always wind up going there, but it's all good. It's fun.
Bring your debit card. All right, man. Thanks a lot, and thanks to everybody else for just kind of putting up with Lynette just blathering this entire 2 hours that she was here. Lynette, now that you were part of my show this morning, you have to say goodbye to everybody.
Bye, everybody.
That's it? It's been a real pleasure spending this post-Thanksgiving morning with you. All right, and I mean the same thing. What we're going to do is it's going to take a few minutes, but Veterans Views is up next. At least 2 women are here. I don't know who else is coming. And then, so stay tuned. They'll be up in shortly on the Voice and Face of the Region.